I'm out here taking a little walk. It's beautiful. In fact, I don't know if the sun will allow you to see it, but some deer on the road right here. Got my buddy's horse right there. The sun's up, and anyway, it's chilly out here, but just beautiful. And I had a few things that I wanted to discuss. The deer don't know what to do. They're gonna orchard. Anyway, just a beautiful morning, and I wanted to discuss with you a couple that I think are applicable right now. Oh, and by the way, yeah, I don't wear my cowboy hat all the time. I mean, most of the time, almost all the time, but when I'm exercising, or which I'm doing right now, I guess I'm on a walk. I've been doing a little better about that. A big get a little out of hand. Making these brakes, exhaust brakes, has been really good, and working on them. But it's been not very physical work, and so I have, anyway, the need to start to exercise more. And I don't wear my cowboy hat. I wear it when I'm sleeping, and I wear it when I'm eating, and I wear it when I'm doing anything else. That's exaggeration. Anyway, wanted to talk to you a little bit about this Brian Thomson, the CEO of United Health, whatever group, or I can't remember the full name of it. Anyway, I just find it really interesting because when that first happened, that same day, I said that I would actually, if I was a betting man, say that someone had a grudge, or the CEO or United Health company was, doing somebody wrong, and this was their retaliation. They shot the CEO of the company, and it may have been most likely sanctioned by the CEO, but I would almost guarantee that it wasn't him that did all the hurting. It was the lawyers, or the company's lawyers. And I understand this completely because of what has happened to me, where a CEO sanctions something and then uses the money of the company to hire, teams of attorneys to just crush and destroy somebody. Now, you might be saying, oh, I'm just speaking, because of the experience that I have, and I'm just saying this, because this is what I want to say in order to, basically correlate the story or correlate the incidences. And that's certainly a little bit of it. But I want to point out that before I said that the other day, I don't think people knew that on the shell casings that were found at the scene when Brian Thomson was shot, the shell casings had 3 words on it, and they were deny, defend, depose. And when I heard that, and I saw it on the news, I knew exactly what that meant. Exactly. And I knew exactly why the shooter would have put those words on the shell casings and what message he was conveying. Now, I also want to make it really, really clear. Man, look just how beautiful it is out here. Let me flip this around. Get it down here. Got this mountain here. And maybe when I come back, the sun will be high enough you can see these red mountains over here. But right now you can't. It's just the glare of the sun's too bright. But it's just so beautiful out here. The deer here. Anyway, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for my buddy who's allowed us to live here in his apartment. We live in an attic apartment. It's been very interesting because all of us, all 6 or 7 of us, because my boys have come and gone, so there's been 7 of us at one time, but 6 or 7 of us all lived in a little attic apartment, 1 bedroom, and we've been there for now over a year. Anyway, it's been kind of a wild ride, but we're very, very grateful for my friend and just everybody who's been so good to us. And anyway, that's how we get through hard times. We have family and friends that step up and help you pick up pieces, and as long as you don't become dependent on them and you pull your weight, then that's just how we get through things. So anyway, back to this Brian Thomson and the shooter. I do want to say right off the bat that I don't condone what the shooter did. He took vengeance into his own hands, and unfortunately through that process he may lose his soul, and that is sad to know. And it's also very sad that Brian Thomson lost his life, and his family has to deal with that. And what I'm saying here is just a very real fact of what happened. And I do acknowledge that people, and I'm not saying Brian Thomson, I don't know, I'm not also accusing him. I'm saying I know this happens quite a bit. I have experienced it quite a bit, where people go to work and they actually do things that really hurt people. And then they go home to their family and they actually have, sometimes they have lots of money and they have a beautiful home and they actually have a pretty good home life. And, their wives and children get to benefit from some of the terrible things that they do. And the reality is sometimes that comes home. And I don't know that this is the case with Brian Thomson or not. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's done. But I do suspect that him and his company hurt somebody pretty badly. And I would suspect that they did it through attorneys and through the courts. Because one is that's what they do. And 2, because that was the message that was sent. Deny, defend, depose. That is an explanation of lawfare, because that is what they do. That is what these corporate lawyers and CEOs do, and I have experienced it personally. So they deny that they did, anything wrong, and they do it legally, and they do it, all out in, sometimes out in the open to the public. They're trying to deny. And then they get all their lawyers. And remember, they have millions and millions of dollars to spend. For example, like St. Luke's, I don't know how many millions they spend on attorneys just coming after me. But I do know that St. Luke's runs on a $600 million annual budget. And a piece of that budget, millions, goes to attorneys. And so they use attorneys to defend. In my case, they denied that they did anything wrong to baby Cyrus. They denied, and then they crafted the story through the attorneys to defend their firm, their institution, St. Luke's. And then they just use tons and tons of lawfare to bury a person in the courts and to just cause them so much harm and pain, and they do it through the lawyers. And then the interesting part is give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I think I lost you for a little bit. Anybody? I'll just stay right here if I can get a thumbs up. Looks like. Okay, good. I'll just stay right here then. I kind of got a shadow anyway. You could see me better. So then it comes down to the depose process. Again, this is all court. They deny it in the courts, they defend it in the courts, and they depose in the courts. And they do it because they have millions of dollars, and an individual or a little family who had been hurt by these people, or by this company or these people, they have no way of even countering the litigation and the, you know, millions of dollars that they're willing to spend to deny, defend, and depose. Well, let me tell you a little about the depose part, because that is the part where they make the individual's lives so miserable that they give up, because they just continue to depose, they continue to subpoena, they continue to serve, and you're constantly drug in, and they're, you know, basically on the offense, you know, asking questions, and they depose not only you, but for example, like my wife, and they depose, in fact, in this case, that's what we're going through right now. St. Luke's went and basically got all these entities and all these people that have the name of last name of Bundy. And they just deposing on them all. Like, they have nothing to do with it. Like, nothing to do with it. Just because they have Bundy in their name, then they depose them. And what happens is people, you know, will call me and they're like, hey, I got this letter, like, you know, from St. Luke's and the attorneys, and they're saying that I have to show up for a deposition. And what's this all about? And like, they have nothing to do with it, but they make everybody's life so miserable by deposing. And so this is how these people do it. This is how they defend themselves. And it's all done through the court. And it's a wicked, wicked thing. And what happens is I'm certain, I'm very certain that what happened in this case, that an individual was either hurt or his family was hurt or something, and he saw that there was never going to be any justice in the courts, because the courts are being used by these lawyers to actually hurt and harm, and they're not being used to make things right. They're not being used to bring justice. They're just being abused by people with money, lots of money, and especially these large corporations who have teams and teams of attorneys that can just keep paying them. And so it's a total corruption and erosion of the courts, and it causes people a tremendous amount of pain. And they do it by denying, defending, and deposing. And there's no coincidence in my mind of why those shell casings had deny, defend, depose on it, because whoever put that on those shell casings has been subject, or has great knowledge of someone who has been subject of corporate CEOs and their lawyers denying, defending, and deposing, and the pain that it causes individuals and families because of that. And it's exactly what Eric Stidham and Chris Roth, the CEO of St. Luke's, is doing to me. And so I understand it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I understand it very clearly. And I understood it when I first heard of the CEO getting shot. And I'm almost like, was very confident that that's what was going on. And then now I'm very, very confident because of what the individual wrote on the shell casings. Deny, defend, depose. It's lawfare. And I don't know how to fix it. It's supposed to be fixed by the judges. And in some, you know, states, it's much harder for the corporations to do it. Well, it's a little harder. But they just find lawyers, if you pay a lawyer, a high dollar lawyer or a firm or whatever, if you could pay them enough, there's very little you can't get done in the courts. And it has nothing to do with right or wrong, just or unjust. It has nothing to do with, you know, good or bad. It's all about maneuvering in the courts. And it's really devastating to individuals who cannot financially, you know, defend themselves or counter what is going on, you know, in the court against like a large corporation. It is. So anyway, I just want to point that out. I'll show you here. I got a good neighbor here. Uh, he's got a big Trump sign up. Anyway, he's got a little money. He's still a really good guy though. And anyway, I thought I'd show you the entrance to his ranch. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully I didn't rattle on too long. And just wanted to express that. And I'm going to keep an eye on this because if they catch this guy, which he's probably not an idiot, but I'll bet you when this thing unwinds that we will find out that he was a disgruntled either customer that was denied, or he was a family member of someone that was denied, and probably someone lost their life, because of it, or something serious, because it motivated him enough to shoot the CEO of this insurance group. And I don't condone that. I'm not saying that at all. And I got some messages from reporters yesterday, I think, trying to insinuate that I was, condoning the action of Brian Thomson being shot. I'm not doing that. I don't think vengeance is mine or anybody else's. But I do know very clearly, and I'll make my point here and then end, that if you have a system that's supposed to be a justice system, that's supposed to make wrongs right in our society, and you have this system, which is our court system now, that favors and caters and basically makes it so that only the rich get what they want in it, then people become very disgruntled, and they don't know how justice is ever going to be brought about. And so they begin to think that the only way that they're going to get justice is to bring justice themselves. And I think because of the court systems and because of these judges we have, which most of them are just attorneys that have become judges, I think we're going to see this happen more and more. I think we're going to see people become more and more disgruntled, more and more feeling like they got to take justice into their own hands. And that's unfortunate, but it really is partially the court's fault. I'm not alleviating the agency that a person has to make a decision whether they're going to take someone's life or do something else. But these court systems are a big cause of it. And I have experienced it myself, and so I wanted to share that with you. So anyway, man, I think 3 videos in 4 days, that's like a record. And this time I don't even have my cowboy hat on. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I really wanted to show you these beautiful red rocks behind me, but the sun is just glaring too much, so I can't show you. So anyway, hope you have a beautiful Saturday, a good evening, or a good weekend. And just know that my family and I are okay. We are suffering, and it is very difficult at times. And we're suffering under the hand of the CEO, Chris Roth, and his attorneys, his team of attorneys. We're suffering under their hand of denying, defending, and deposing. So, thank you.